this is a instructional video to help people do the Forsaken Mission 113s, which Harlech Citadels should be able to do them at this point. Now, keep in mind, Doom Rooster has posted that the 113 is underperforming, and it is they are warning of changes. But at this point, a Harlech Citadel with 3 Citadels and a Zelos will do the 113s just fine. We're going to go over my build. This is my Zelos. 5 Halanx 4s are a must. Harrier D52R I used. You can use a blade, but it's heavier than the Harrier. They got the same range, but you have to have at least the blade or the Harrier. 5 Gale 3s. That is also a must, or you're not going to shoot the mortars down, and the mortars are going to eat your fleet up. Now, you don't have to have this charged missile armor. You can use C1 or D1M. I got the charged missile armor on there, just 2 plates to help with, because I don't always shoot all the halos down, as Kixeye's been messing with those. I used to shoot all the halos down, but now I don't. I got 3 plates of D1X, Agility System 4, Alloy Armor MX3. It must be MX3, not MC3 or the other one. It's got to be the one with explosive and penetrative defense. Speed System 5, Solid Fuel Booster 3, and you must have Frontline Countermeasure System. The Frontline Countermeasure System does 50% turret boost, and it boosts your antis too. You must have that. Now, my Citadels are the same basic build I've had before. This particular one, I got 3 judges on it, but all the rest is all coaxials. D3B for speed, nothing special. If you notice, I don't really have any armor on here. If you got D2V or D1V, use that. It's the same bonus combat speed. I just don't have that, so I had to use D3V. Speed System 5, Combustion System 2, high velocity rounds. I got hydrodynamic shells on this one and I was using it for basically the old 109s to kill the mines out. The mines in these new targets, you cannot kill. So hydrodynamic shells is worthless to you. And Siege Battery 3. Now, my regular Zelos build, without the hydrodynamic shells, is all coaxial Firestorm, D3V armors, and then if you notice I got Speed System 5, Combustion System 2, high velocity rounds, viscosity regulator, and that's for the splash, and then I've got Siege Battery 3. Nothing real special. My Harlech Citadel is the same thing as the Citadel. Nothing special. You got to rely on that Zelos. That Zelos is your main thing. Alright, I'm going to launch this, and hopefully my fingers and everything will work properly today, and I can show you how to do this with no damage. We got to find a 113 now. I'm going to pause this while I locate a 113. Okay, I got a 113 located. I've actually got 2 of them located. It does not matter where you enter on these targets. It's always going to put you at the same spot. So, I'm going, well, yeah, I've already got my Forsaken mission done, but that doesn't apply to us. It's for this video. I'm going to attack this. We'll enter battle. First thing, right away, up arrow, down arrow. It selects your entire fleet, and then it stops it, so it's not going to go anywhere. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and click on go. I'm going to zoom out, bring all these over to one spot and stack them up. Now this is a must with the Harlech Citadel and the Citadel Fleet and the Zelos. You have to micro manage your movements. And I do mean micromanage. You have to keep that Zelos where it's covering your citadels, or you're going to lose your citadels. And notice I do not get that Zelos too far away from the citadels, because at the further the range of the antis up here, where that green circle is, it doesn't always cover the citadels. So I like this other little green circle with the hash marks is the aura of the citadel, or the Zelos. I like to keep my citadels in that area. Now, if you notice, I'm extremely micromanaging. The halo is getting shot down most of the time. There's a little bit of splashes made it through, nothing major to get my citadels, my Zelos. Alright, notice this other halo over here has stopped firing at me. But I got this halo over here. Now do not target any of the rockets or the frostbite. What you got to do is select your Zelos, your tank, bring it over, get it up here close, and if you'll notice, I'm trying to target that executive missile there. And I just barely had my firing ring on it. Okay, now most of those turrets are dead, so I've got to bring my citadels a little closer. And now back to the Zelos. Go back on over here to the platform. Get up close to it. I'm going to inch over and stop, down arrow. Notice the frostbite never fired. Now I'm going to bring my fleet over here. You got to use that down arrow a lot. It is a must. You'll see later on in this target, I will be creeping up and hitting the down arrow a lot. Now on these mines, make sure you're smack dab in the middle of the going between them. Don't get close to them, because they will sink you in a heartbeat. Notice I'm not too concerned about those ships up there blowing stuff up. Let them. Now notice my Zelos is firing the gales, and it's eating the mortars up. See? See the mortars there? This is why it's usually there's two of these citadels over here firing at you, and you need all those gales, all 5 Gale 3s to eat those mortars up. Now keep in mind, splash kills. That's why I use viscosity regulator, and on my monos I'm using narrowed firing aperture on my build. My monos ain't done. I've still got to armor them up and everything and rank them. But This is for the lower levels that don't have monos but have Harlech, Citadels, and Zealots in the Citadel. And the Harlech Citadel is a must. Now, if you notice, I'm just inching over here, not worrying about anything. Now, if you notice, Executive, Halo, I'm not sure, I think that's a anti-mortar or coaxial or whatever right there. And then another executive, and then you got a rocket and a frostbite and a rocket. You don't want these rockets or the frostbite firing at you, so you do not even try to get in their range. Okay, I'm going to select my Z-Loss. We're going to do like last time. We're going to bring it on over here. And notice I got in too close. The frostbite fired. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have went in that close. This takes practice. Lots of it. And I've done that just now on purpose to show you how much a little mistake can eat you alive. No big deal on those fleets. Yes, this takes time, but it can be done. Just don't get in a hurry and take your time. Now notice I'm purposely swinging out here and bringing my citadels out here. And I got them just a tad too far out, so I'm going to bring them in a little bit. Yeah, swing my Z-Loss in. Alright, we're going to do the same thing here. Go the other direction, Shane. And then we're going to swing down here. I just hit the down arrow to stop. Stopped again. Stopped again. Notice my mortars are firing. I'm not going to move. I got most of those turrets. Now, unfortunately, it didn't get them all. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. So I got to bring my citadels in a little closer. Now, this is where you got to be careful because you do have a mortar over here firing at your citadels. You got to be fairly quick there or your citadels is going to take a lot of damage. Now, we just kind of inch over slowly. Now you see why you don't want to leave the citadels too far behind. You want that Z-Loss covering it, covering your citadels. Now I'm going to inch on in here, come down through here, just like this. I've found a special trick for this cluster of towers, and believe me, it took me a while to find it. You gotta micromanage and get your citadels out here. If you don't, they're gonna die. You take a lot of damage from the frostbite when firing here or the mortars. I've noticed the mortars is not firing out here where I'm at. Alright, I need to bring them in a little more. There. I want to wait on the Z-loss. Then I'm going to move a little bit over here. Move my citadels out a little bit as they are too close. Back to the Z-loss. Now the mortar's not firing. But this one over here is. That's no big deal. I ain't worried about that one. I'm coming up here. Get in close. And boom. And I got a little too close. I should have stopped a second sooner. The frostbite fired at me. Now we come back over here. Now we got the citadels covered again. We're going to micromanage the movement. This is kind of tricky right here. You got to keep the citadels close so the mortars don't eat them up. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to inch in. Come on, fingers. See, now I took that out. I'm going to bring the fleet in or through the minefield. Good. Now we're going to just kind of come on up here. Now notice this yellow retargeting ring, or this yellow remote targeting ring. I need that just barely on that thing right there. So I'm going to inch up. And down arrow, see where I'm at. I'm barely on it. Okay, now I'm going to select my Z-loss. I'm going to kind of wiggle. Got the torque tower. Now back over here. Get in close to the platform. This you got to really micromanage your movement. You get too close, these things are going to eat you up. These rocket turrets over here. I'm clicking on the map, and then I'm hitting down arrow fairly fast, just so I just barely creep up. See, now my mortar's fired. Now I'm just going to sit there and let the mortars do their job. Okay, now we're going to regroup the fleet. Going back out the gate. Got to micromanage again. Now I'm going to bring the whole fleet up here close. I've got to keep them fairly close because the citadel's fairly close to the Zelos because of those mortars. Ah, hell. Ran out of time. No big deal. We'll just go back in. Don't worry about running out of time. You still get your points. Normally, I'd do this without running out of time, but I'm trying to do this with the instructional video, and it's taking me a little bit longer, plus my fingers ain't working that great today. Now see here, I don't have anything to mess with over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the fleet on over here. I'm not going to micromanage because there's nothing firing at me. I just need to move. You don't want to get too close though. Because remember, you got mortars over there. With practice, you can do this with instant repair or no damage on your fleet. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience. You can't just click on stuff and go. These targets will not allow you to do that. Yeah, I'm going to show you a sniping trick. I got my citadels close enough, they're covered by the Zelos. Now notice, these turrets are just barely out of my range. And what I'm going to do is click, get that Zelos to rotating, and bam! And I press the down arrow right there to stop the Zelos from rotating. And for some reason today is I didn't want to take out that last rocket turret. So I'm going to take a little damage to get that rocket turret out. Normally, all of them die in that cluster doing that. For some reason, this one particular FM target being difficult on that today. Now I'm through the minefield. I'm just going to go over here and click on that torque tower. Bring the fleet on around. I'm going to select the Zelos. And I'm just going to bring the fleet on up and around. The Zelos will actually have the torque tower killed before these citadels get up there. You see, he stopped on his own. Now keep in mind that these 113s give 110 points in the Forsaken mission. You only got to do 3 of these, and what I usually do is I rim one to finish up my first round, and then reset, and then I do my second round. I finish off the inside after I reset, and that gives me doing 7 113s and I think an 88 if I remember right. Okay, I selected the Harley Citadel. That was a mistake. There's Zelos. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to take a little damage getting this guy, but it is nothing I can do about it. I'm going to run as fast as I can to minimize my damage. I just need to get in close enough to get the mortars launched. Now see, the damage on the citadels is from when I got too close to that one cluster of turrets at the back, where I told you I'd done it on purpose. The Z-Loss, I've actually done it for less. Repair time, 5 hours, 4 minutes. With practice, and if you don't have the problems like I do, where your fingers want to twitch and stuff, and don't always listen to you, you should be able to do this with no damage. On a good day, I can do them with no damage. I hope this helps everything and was informational. But keep in mind, don't target the turrets. Click on the map to move, press the down arrow to stop your tank or your fleet if you need to, and micromanage your movements. You may be doing a left click on the mouse on the water to move your Z-Loss, and maybe pressing that down arrow 15, 20 times. Just micromanage the movements. If you do all this and you practice, there's no reason at all you shouldn't get tier 5 in FM easily with this fleet.